Not only psychology, but also epigenetics has long proven that we are not victims of our genes or our environment in various ways and circumstances. Through the way we conduct ourselves and in numerous other ways, we influence our own health, well-being, happiness, wealth, partnership, and relationships. We just need to simply change our behavior, and then we will just get everything we wish for. But this is indeed exactly the point where the concepts actually do indeed fail. The reason for this lies in how our brain is programmed. Our brain learns through emotions. The stronger the emotion, the better and longer something is stored. A negative example is trauma. A trauma leaves many traces in the brain. It preserves the smells, body temperature, colors, and people present at the time, such as friends or family. And each of these various individual pieces of information can be a trigger to bring the different types of trauma back up. Our brain contains vast amounts of billions of bits and pieces of information that are complexly interconnected and thoroughly evaluated through emotions. They are either positive in nature and therefore to be repeated, or they are negative in essence and therefore to be avoided. Some things only gain significance because they are or were in a certain context. For example, eating. If one often spends meals in the company of nice and pleasant people, or was often fed by mom in a loving and enjoyable way, then eating is associated with positive feelings and naturally repeated. Eating is actually not a perfect example because it is in fact an essential part of our survival program. Even in the very early years of life, food already receives an individual rating of pleasure or frustration in a piece of candy or a sweet treat in a moment of comfort, thus holds a very special significance. And if indeed as a child you were given candy for comfort, then that candy becomes a form of conditioning. It is conditioned that candy is not just food, but also comfort and enjoyment and joy. A later need for comfort will always be undoubtedly associated with candy, and the need will definitely be satisfied through the candy. The feeling of comfort can often be associated with additional feelings, such as love and also security. Our emotion-driven brain hardly ever worries about our figure or our health when consuming excessive amounts of sugar, and in fact, it often craves it. The emotional connections are indeed generally much stronger, in fact significantly stronger, than the rational thought patterns and our knowledge of how unhealthy too much sugar is, and how it could actually affect our figure. Through this detailed illustration of the mechanism of our brain, I believe it becomes very clear how incredibly difficult it is to change behavioral patterns. A high level of awareness and knowledge is not enough here. We need to reach much deeper layers of our subconscious, and unfortunately, focusing and ruminating on a particular topic usually only makes it actually even worse, in fact. Focusing and really putting energy on a topic only exacerbates the problem, and the techniques of meditation and self-suggestion are indeed good approaches and other good methods, but not everyone is able to carry them out to the point where they truly lead to success. To be honest, very few actually can. To change a behavior and behavior patterns, new and enriching, impactful experiences must be made. And these new experiences need to form positive connections with emotions. Experiences always indeed occur through the body and sensory perception, and therefore, in my opinion, our concept is definitely the only one that brings the most effective results in the shortest time. While our thoughts often play a deceptive game with us, our body is always indeed truly authentic. It immediately responds when it is cold, when it is hot, when it is uncomfortable, when we are in a situation that is unpleasant. In the worst case, It signals this through illnesses. It can be a cold, as if you are sometimes fed up with something, or it can often develop into long-term chronic illnesses. So, what exactly happens in neurotango, a movement therapy with music? In phase 1, the participants initially enter the process of sensory perception, which involves various stages. It is a meditative state of movement through music, motion, and the rational and emotional engagement of the brain. This brings physical and mental relief. Through the relaxed meditative state, movement, music, and emotions trigger biochemical processes. This means less anxiety, less pain, and less stress. The experience of the body and its behavior. It is indeed the beginning of understanding why bodily reactions to certain behavior and movement patterns occur, and their significance is also very intuitively translated and understood. Through movement improvisation, the body learns to express and understand the emotional state in various ways. It is a spiritual catalyst for the emotions that are inside and that we can express outwardly through the body. The most important phase is phase 3. Old patterns are corrected and new body and behavior patterns are very learned. These are naturally linked with emotions, positive emotions that we can absorb in a way that is appropriate and suitable, and most importantly, those that correspond to our own personality and character. The participants engage in a kind of dialogue through the exercises of leading and following in various forms, representing all relationship patterns that occur in life. This applies to both professional and personal life, including family, friends, work, and overall well-being. Everywhere we cultivate patterns and, in various ways, change old patterns, replacing them with positive new patterns. The circumstance a person actually finds themselves in is always just a reflection of their inner behavior tendencies and the emotions we associate with them. Don't miss to watch my next video.